PopCultureZone.com is an online shop focusing on hot new comics, including exclusive and incentive variants, CGC graded comics, and tons of other inventory, including pop culture toys and other collectibles, all at low and competitive prices. PopCultureZone.com ships all over the US. And if you are buying raw comics, they offer flat rate shipping of only $4.99. That's right, $4.99. Absolute craziness, right? And there's no taxes included, excluding New Jersey. Pop Culture Zone is also on eBay, where they hold a 100% positive feedback rating with over 8,000 completed transactions for this year alone. Make sure to check out the link to their website below, as well as their eBay link, so be sure to give them a follow there as well.
Price them, move that inventory. All right, the second thing hurting comic books right now: pricing raw books at graded values. One of the big, and look, this ties in to number one. Pricing raw books at graded values. Quite honestly, guys, I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it. And remember what I just said in number one about people being able to charge premiums for random books, random raw books, and that endorphin rush and the change in psychology around our purchase decision when it's online or in these IG live sales or whatnot sales. That right there had people willing to pay graded prices for raw books. And this is where, again, I'm not even going to sit and be mad at any others. I'm mad at the buyers. What the hell are you guys doing? You're in a claim sale. Look up freaking cover price. Look up eBay. Look at the value and say, nope. I can find this on eBay for X amount, 30% cheaper, raw. You guys did it. Buyers did it. You sat there and paid great value for raw books. And you made people think that that was the fair market value because they're selling. But it's not organic. It blows my mind. Like, even at the height of the COVID boom, it blew my mind how willing people were to just spend money when resources are right in front of your face in terms of what a fair market value is. And I've always talked about this too on my channel about what is organic fair market value? What does that look like? Well, it's whatever anybody's willing to pay, right? But I've talked about this, how we allow FOMO in this psychological, it's really a sociocultural thing of the gimme, me, I need it now. We don't allow values on the market to reach a organic fair market value when there's emotions tied into our purchasing decisions. So if you look at how we started paying graded a value for raw books, what does that do to the perception of buyers in the market a week later, a month later? Because what do you look at? You look at precedent. And what is precedent? Recent sales. So now you're looking at recent sales to say, oh, well, this raw book in high grade was selling for $50 for a while. And then all of a sudden it started selling for, 90 to 110, $100 somewhere around there. So now if, it started selling, peak was $115 high sell. Now, if I get it for $98, that's a deal. I'm thinking that's a deal. And so now we didn't allow supply and demand to change the value. We allowed emotions to change the value. because all it takes is a couple of sales, especially for Silver Age, Bronze Age books that, again, I say this a lot, even if you look at the stock market, Starbucks stock, Apple stock, there's hundreds and thousands of shares being traded and exchanged every day. And that's why you see the market doing like this. You can look at things that are mass produced, the market value is on them every day because hundreds or thousands are selling every day. You get an ASM 129 or even like a smaller key, like maybe a Wolverine #1 limited series. How many of those are moving a day on eBay or on, in these groups? 3, maybe, not even at most. I can guarantee you, I can look at Wolverine #1 right now, and there ain't going to be a sale every day over the last month. That's how minimal these sales are, to where only a couple sales can skew what people perceive fair market value to be. So if you just get a couple of sellers selling a raw book at what was, say it's a high grade raw, and that raw book is, said to be a near mint copy, and that near mint book was selling for $230, graded in a 9.4. And you get 2 raw sales that sold for $200 and $220. When just the week before they were selling for $90 on average, the last 5 sales, so to say. What are we going to do looking at the market now? Oh man, I don't want to miss out on this. If I get one for $190, it's a deal. And now these sellers that are pricing their books before they go on their sales, they're looking at recent sales. Not only am I going to price my book at the average fair market value of the last few sales at 190, 200, 210, I might even bump it up a little bit. I'm going to put mine at 220, 225. And that's what has happened over the last few years. So why is this so bad for comic books right now? Because what we're seeing happen, and don't get me wrong, this ain't across the board, and don't get this twisted as people are preferring raw books over graded books. All right. But because the value, as people started overcharging for raw books, rightfully so, because people were buying, right? So, hey, as soon as people started pricing raw books at graded prices, what do you think that did to graded prices? But now it's tumbling back down. And now I'm starting to see a trend, especially in high grade, especially for older books, copper, bronze, or silver. You're starting to see, now usually on the market, if you see a graded book in a certain grade, slab book in a certain grade, lose 30% of value, that raw book around that same grade usually loses the same amount of value. But it's a little lopsided right now, especially with higher grade books. I am seeing more high grade raws fall less, where high grade slabs are dropping a little quicker. And I think, again, it's because it was so inflated. It's not because people are valuing raw books more. It's just because right now people are pulling their money out of the market. They're saying, nope. Not only am I worried about paying that much now, not only I don't even know if we should have ever been paying that much. I don't know if I can pay that much. And it's hurting comics because it's doing this. Things are doing this. Okay. Not only are they distorting fair market value, not only have they created a non-organic, they've created pesticidic, if that's even a word. I just created that word if it's not a word. because it's been sprayed sides. It has not been an organic. Allow supply and demand to truly allow a price to go up or come down on a natural bell-shaped curve. And we can stop it from being so extreme even right now. Now, again, I'm not even blaming sellers. They priced it, y'all bought it. I'm not blaming them. Now, was it right? Is it ethical? That's a whole other conversation. I'm blaming all of you that bought these books with this FOMO, with this high, with this I need it right now, because it's just going to keep going up and up and up and up. Now, I was a proponent of the market not crashing. The market's not going to crash. Comic books are healthier than ever. And I still believe that, and I stand on it, because essentially, if you look at it from stock market terms, the market's crashed. Anything that drops more than 30, 40%, like, and you have a large handful of options that have dropped that much, you can look at that as a crash. All right. But I don't. For comic books, because again, the comic books aren't the stock market. Comic books didn't crash. In the same essence, if we're using finance lingo, it's been that high in the first place. And because comic books move differently than stocks do on a market, or even as a real estate market moves, this dip, this correction, this crash could have been avoided. It could have been a lot less extreme if we just didn't allow FOMO and our emotions to get involved. So I'm going to leave you guys with this. How do we allow these two things that have been happening over the last few years? How do we start to correct it in a way that doesn't crash them more, so to say, or doesn't allow sellers to come back and keep this behavior up? And the bottom line, stop buying from emotions, period. Stop thinking that you need everything right here, right now. You are not a 5-year-old in a candy store. And it's that simple. It's that simple. And I don't mean to ridicule y'all, but I'm going to say it again, because I'm back and I can't help it. I speak my mind and I can't lie. Fake friends tell you what you want to hear. Real friends tell you what you need to hear. Guys, I'm going to keep telling you what you need to hear. You're not 5-year-olds in a candy store. Calm down. Especially on books that start blowing up because Frogman showed up in an episode of frickin' She-Hulk. Nobody is going to care. I know I'm yelling, but it's all for fun. Did you guys miss me? Guys, stop. We know how it goes. We know how it goes. This is how we stop it. You see a book, you want it that bad, do your research. And if you pass it or you wait on it and it doesn't come to you, it wasn't meant to be. I'm going to give you guys a prime example. I had a chance to buy, I believe it was a 9.2 CGC Uncanny X-Men 266 first full appearance of Gambit right before COVID hit for about, I think it was like $150. Did I say 9.2? Maybe it was a 9.2 or a 9.4, anywhere from 120 to 150, somewhere around there. And I didn't do it. That book, between a 9.4 and a 9.2, over the last couple of years since then, doubled in price. But guess what, guys? I'm going to pull it up right now. Let's pull this up right now. All right. I was mad at myself. And I could have easily paid more than that. Let me tell you what a 9.4 is selling for right now. $165. That book is pretty much back down almost to where it was when I thought I missed out. I could have sat there and paid $300 for that book. And I didn't, because it's okay. It's okay to sit there and do research and come back to it and miss it, because it's going to come back around, guys, more often than not. So how do we solve this problem without making it worse? Control yourselves. That's all I got to say. Even if you're in it for investing, control yourselves. That's the biggest takeaway from this right now. And speak up to people, and also don't be afraid to negotiate. If you think a seller is selling a raw book at a graded price, call them out on it. You don't need to be an a-hole. Call them out on it, though. Show them the proof. Show them the data. So, guys, this is something, of course, that is part of a bigger issue that I'm going to keep talking about, because I'm a new person today, and I'm getting back into this, and I'm still trying to figure it all out and how to have great power and great responsibility moving forward in 2023 with the way the market is right now. I'm going to make that clear. So